morning, everyone. It's not even 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark out, and I figured I'd do one of these out and abouts in my living room. Yes, in my living room. I have a grow light that I have here. You can see one of my hobbies is to be out there enjoying the great outdoors with plants. And so I have for this year some grow lights. I have up on this upper deck some plants that I have, seedlings that I've started, first year doing this, of plants, primarily flowers that we can use in the garden. And I've done some good ones, and there's some of the trays there's nothing. And so I'm still kind of experimenting around trying to see what works. On this lower level, I have some new plants that I've gotten. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get to it until after Easter. It's just a little bit too busy right now. But I'm really itching to get out there and doing some work. Primarily, this will be in my backyard. I have some plans with ideas of how to landscape the backyard. It was just a disaster. Tall weeds was basically the whole thing. And last year, during the summer, we were able to get, with some of the guys, we made a path through there with stay mat, something like that. It's kind of crushed gravel, so it's a way to get around the backyard. And so that put the structure, and then from there started some planting. So I just figured, I don't care if there's weeds there, I'm just going to start planting. So I have some plants that I began to put in there, and the goal is to get plants that are lush and green, because even in winter time I want it to look nice. I don't want to look at a bunch of sticks. Something that I can be lush and green and enjoy. And it's an area that is primarily, well, for all intents purposes, basically in shade all the time. So they need to be plants that endure that type of thing. So I ordered a few plants I don't know, during the winter time. I was looking at places where things were available. And so the first one that I'm going to share with you is some plants that I got from Annie's Annuals. And Annie's Annuals and Perennials is down in the Bay Area, and so most of the plants are for California. But she does have a few plants that are for Zone 8, which is the zone that we're in. And the first one here is the Viola, and this is Viola odorata. Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the rest of it. It's from Italy. It's an evergreen, and what's interesting about this one is that it loves the shade. It was originally bred by an Italian nobleman, and it's a hard to find, called Parma Violet, and with probably the largest flowers, 1 1/4 inch across flowers, snowy double white blooms, and have a heavily sweet scent. And they bloom from early spring into summer, and they thrive in shady areas and are evergreen. So here's one that I'll give it a try and see what happens. I'm kind of interested, especially in my backyard. Then the next one, let's see what this one is. Azara. This is Azara Dentada. This is a sweet honey vanilla scented plant. Again, evergreen. Loves a full shade. It has fluffy golden yellow flowers that delight the senses in the spring. And this is another evergreen plant. It's from Chile, and it loves to be even under roots of the redwood trees, is what she said. So I'm excited about giving this one a try. All kinds of puffy yellow flowers that come on it. So it's still a baby, so we'll see how that one goes. Now let's see what that. Okay, the next one is the Hebe, called showy Hebe. And there's nothing on it right now as far as the flower, but there's an interesting description that Annie puts about this plant. She said, "I've never been even remotely interested in Hebes before. They seem so boring, so suburban, subdivision, so stiff in habit to me. That is until I met this extra huge flower species, thrilling 3 to 4 inch chubby magenta violet bloom clusters, big enough to fill your palm." And that goes from July through November, and attracting all kinds of pollinating friends. I love the leaves, stiff green all year round. This gets to be 3 foot to 4 foot wide. Now this one needs to be in the sun, so I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put it. But when she gave that description, I said, I got to have this and give it a try just to see how it goes. So this is an interesting Hebe worth investigating. And then I have here in the corner, this is a Cuphea, and this is Starfire Pink. And this is a tough, versatile evergreen. It blooms year-round. Once it gets established, it gets to be like a shrub of 3 foot high and wide. It's heat and shade tolerant, and a hummingbird heaven. So here's another one that's worth giving a try. And so out of these plants from Annie's, it looks like only the Hebe that I won't be able to plant back in my backyard. But at least it's a good one to try. I sometimes buy plants and I don't necessarily even know where I'm going to plant them all, but I just love the description and I give it a try. Okay, the next one is from Plant Delights Nursery, and this is in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it's part of the university system there. So they have a huge a collection of plants there in North Carolina. And so I'm always looking to see what is the latest things that they have out there. And again, I'm looking for plants that are evergreen. So let's start with the Sable Palms. I have already a Sable Palm in the backyard. I planted one, but this one is Sabal Blackburniana, and so this is supposed to be pretty hardy. The other sable that I planted there, it sailed through our winter. It was excellent, so I have 2 of those, so I'm sure that will be part of another collection of different sables that I'll have back there. Then I have Agave, Daddy Longlegs. Isn't that an interesting one? Now that won't go in the backyard. It's just too dark back there. But I was so attracted to the plant. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but you know, it's kind of an interesting one. So I said, let's get this one. I'll find a place to find some sort of home for that one. Then there is the one over here. This is an Agave havardiana, Big Ben Giant. This is an agave, and if you see the pictures on their website, they're big. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 feet wide and maybe 3 feet high or more. Huge. And I'm thinking maybe I can put it somewhere in the Holy Land garden as it's going up. There, I see some empty spots. I don't want to cloud it all with all kinds of plants, but sometimes you just got to give it a try. And so this one, even though it's a baby, I think it might be a really neat one to try out there. And then in another one that I have that I thought I'd give a try in my backyard, this is a Cryptominium falcatum Butterfieldii. At any rate, it is an interesting fern, a very interesting fern. It has such a, the type of leaves is just, it doesn't look like a typical fern. So I was attracted to it. And I have some ferns back there, but I thought add to the collection of ferns is some interesting ones. So this is, especially in a shaded area, that will be it. And last but not least are my own seedlings of palms. I have 18 of these that made it through. I think that 2 of them aren't going to make it. They just, when I transplanted it, they don't look like they quite made it. But I was quite pleased that I got at least maybe 16 out of the seeds that I planted. And I have plenty more seeds. So I have plenty of palms that I like to try. I have no idea when you could put them in the ground. You know, once they start. Maybe one of you knows how that works. But at any rate, this is a little bit about what's going on in my life. Hopefully, after Easter is over, I'll get a chance to get out there and enjoy the sunshine and get some plants in the ground and enjoy God's great earth. Till we see each other soon, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next Out and About. Bye for now.